start?
So I'm predicting that user-owned machine learning algorithms are going to catch on and start helping people throughout their daily lives. Machine learning is a powerful tool that allows us to automate basically mental labor. They allow us to, for example, reorganize a website every second for every user. They allow us to analyze massive amounts of data that would previously be lost because there's just too much, and integrate big data into our lives in ways that allow us to predict human behavior pretty extremely accurately. These companies that use these machine learning algorithms use them to predict user behavior to such a degree that they can influence them in pretty shocking and upsetting ways. For example, Facebook used emotional contagion to basically try to influence positive and negative emotions of their users by exposing them to different messages using their algorithms. And that was very successful, they found. And they were very proud that they could do this, even though it is a pretty shocking breach of research ethics. So what I believe is that people need these algorithms. They're very powerful tools, but they need to be owned by their users, or at least by entities these users trust that don't have a profit motive. Because it turns out that these algorithms, when they're optimizing for a profit motive, are a little too good at optimizing, and they are able to find weaknesses in our psychology that allow them to essentially deceive us and manipulate us. Because as it turns out with any AI system, we found that anytime they try to optimize too much, they lead to negative side effects. So they deceive us by exploiting our emotions and basically stressing us out by citing anger or other negative emotions. Whereas these tools ultimately would be used to enrich our lives. These tools can currently be made by individuals, but they can't be made on a cheap computer that easily. They can be made on a laptop for around $500 if they are using a relatively simple data set. But even that would be extraordinarily helpful. For example, learning machine chatbots, which rely on extraordinarily simple data sets, have been proven to dramatically help their users' mental health when they're optimized for therapy rather than advertising. So assuming that people started working together to produce these and power them and churn the data through them, we could see user-controlled algorithms that help people stop compulsive behavior, that help people avoid stressing factors online, that help people keep track of their days and their relationships, that basically could, instead of trying to maximize the amount of clicks and views on a video and how many times people like go through the front page and optimizing that, they're optimizing your life essentially because you own it rather than a major company. Obviously this wouldn't be an instantaneous process. Machine learning is an iterative process already, but like all progression of technology, it's going to be iterative on a second level. Like the initial ones that we make would probably be made using the data that the EU has forced Google and Facebook to give you. That is what they feed in their machines, but it's not being collected in real time. There's not a lot of stuff with it. So you could use it to like kind of help you as a sort of assistant if you programmed it that way, but it wouldn't necessarily totally optimize your life. But over time, as like processing power on phones and computers gets cheaper and storage gets cheaper, and maybe some foundations like Mozilla or like the WinZip group start doing this for free, you would see these getting more powerful on being able to sort of combat the negative forces of automation of algorithms in our life by big tech companies, because they don't really care about you, they care about money, and these machines care about money like way too much. And I think that this ties in well to our course because we've learned that technology and innovation mostly comes about not when selling brand new shinies around. It's when there's a need and there's an existing technology that can be adapted to fill that need, and it becomes a cost reality. It becomes positive in cost reality to adapt it. So machine learning algorithms are becoming cheaper to make. The things that they can help us with are deeply needed, like mental health and focus, and people can mental health and focus, and people can use them and create them with the data they get from these companies. Because it used to be really, really hard to get that data, and now it's easier and easier, especially if you know how to program it a little bit and collect it from your phone or your computer yourself. So I believe that is the innovation we are going to see in the future. out of everything. It's not going to be like VR goggles. It's just going to be our phones and computers get smarter and better at helping us. And also, they start to want to help us instead of companies.